Hello, welcome to European Open briefing for Wednesday, February the 20th. I'm Ravi Bajan, currency analyst at xm.com, and we're going to be taking a look at what's happening in the currency markets today. The US dollar remains on the defensive ahead of the FOMC minutes due later today. The Japanese yen is also on the back foot, so the yen is being pressured both from the risk on sentiment as well as from dovish remarks by Bank of Japan governor yesterday. So the risk on sentiment is lifting stocks. We're seeing most Asian indices close in the green, and Europe, we're also seeing a positive start there as well. The dollar index fell sharply yesterday. There are expectations that the Fed minutes will reinforce the Fed's dovish shift. Dollar yen though is slightly higher. Of course, the yen is under pressure as well, so that's why dollar yen is up. But the euro is benefiting from the weaker dollar yesterday. The euro did stage a bit of a rally, and this morning it's marginally extending its gains, currently at 1.1344. Sterling pairing some of its gains from yesterday when it surged on the back of hopes that Theresa May will be able to secure significant changes to her deal with the EU in talks later this week. The Australian dollar, though not benefiting too significantly from the positive sentiment in the markets of the past few days, it is struggling to make gains following the RBA's dovish shift at its last meeting. So this morning we did see wage data out of Australia coming in line with expectations, and the Aussie did edge up briefly, but now it's slightly down against the US dollar at 0.7151. The Kiwi is also down. The Luni, though, is slightly higher, benefiting from trade optimism as well as oil prices remaining near their 2019 highs. And looking at gold prices, so we're seeing in recent weeks, we've seen several major global central banks becoming more dovish, so that is helping gold prices, and they did reach fresh 10-month highs earlier. It's currently slightly off those highs at $1,341 an ounce. A quick look now at the US dollar. We can see dollar yen slowly approaching the 111 level. So talks have resumed in the US between the US and China, and President Trump has once again said that talks are going well, but there are still doubts whether or not China will be making all the structural reforms that the US is demanding. So there's a risk that the talks could still falter. For the moment, the markets are optimistic, and also the other thing that's lifting markets, but not so much the dollar, is the expectation that the Fed minutes will be dovish and possibly signal changes to its balance sheet. The Fed minutes are due at 19 hours GMT. And a quick look at sterling. We can see that big jump yesterday by more than 1%, breaking above the 1.30 handle, reaching a 2-week high. So that was on the back of some signs that the EU is being slightly more conciliatory towards the UK. The UK Attorney General will be outlining legal changes to the backstop that would make the withdrawal agreement acceptable to UK Parliament. The EU hasn't really ruled out looking at the proposals, but they are insisting that they're not making any changes to the withdrawal agreement itself, but only to the political declaration. At the moment, sterling is slightly lower, not because of reciting hopes of the talks between Theresa May and President Juncker, but mainly on reports that some Conservative MPs could quit the party to join those MPs who resigned from Labour, and that would be very dangerous for Theresa May, because she already has a minority government and is being supported by the DUP, so that could make it possibly even more difficult to get any deal through Parliament. So that's it from me. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.